10 days in the beautiful country of Switzerland. We just had a successful Europe trip with our 1-year-old as well as my mother-in-law, and we spent 10 days in the beautiful country of Switzerland, which is now our favorite country ever. I'm going to detail our 10-day itinerary in Switzerland to help others who plan to travel for the first time and give some tips on accommodation, food, and places to visit. And it will cover our travel starting from Geneva, then to Lauterbrunnen Valley and its nearby villages, before we head down to Interlaken. Let's get started! Our first stop in Switzerland is Geneva, and we spent 2 days here coming from the Netherlands. We took the plane instead of the usual train ride, as it's more than 9 hours from Amsterdam. Geneva lies at the southern tip of Lake Geneva and surrounded by the beautiful Alps and Jura Mountain, and well known as the headquarters of Europe's United Nations, and our first stop in Geneva. Our next stop is the iconic Geneva water fountain in the scenic Lake Geneva. Here's a tip. Geneva offers a free transport card whenever you stay at an approved accommodation, so make sure the place you're staying offers one, as it can save you some cash from transportation expenses, especially if you're a traveling family like us. We highly recommend taking the mini electric train ride, which starts in front near the flower clock. And for about 9 Swiss francs, I would say the 30-minute train ride covering the left shore of Lake Geneva is all worth it. It's a nice way to cover a lot of tourist spots as well here in Geneva. Next up is to visit and walk Geneva's Old Town and wander through the narrow cobblestone streets. There are guided tours as well that you can take for about 25 Swiss francs that covers the whole Old Town, as well as the must-visit St. Peter's Cathedral, which was built around the 12th century. Here's some more shots of St. Peter's Cathedral and the Old Town. I highly recommend staying near the Old Town just as we did, as you're near everything. Near the English Garden and Lake Geneva, the main shopping district in Geneva, which includes a lot of Swiss chocolate shops, restaurants, and Swiss watch stores. Another tip, get the Geneva City Pass if you plan to visit a lot of tourist spots and museums, especially if your accommodation doesn't include a Geneva free transport card. Aside from the City Pass covering all your travel expenses in Geneva, it also includes discounts and free entry to tours and museums. Yes, it's free. The Lake Geneva Tour Cruise, guided tour to Old Town, and entry to several museums for free already justify its price, which is 35 Swiss francs for 24 hours. We started our day by touring the south side of the Old Town, covering the Maison Tavaux, Promenade de la Trielle, Musée des Rats, and more. We then head out to one of the best places to visit here, especially if you're a science nerd like me, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, or CERN. It's about 20 to 30 minutes tram ride from central Geneva, and best of all, the entrance is free. CERN is famous for being home to the Large Hadron Collider, a 27-kilometer long machine that stretches under the French and Swiss border. And it's at CERN that the World Wide Web was invented in 1989. Here's the photo of the world's first web server, as well as some amazing images from its exhibits, particularly with astronomy. After CERN, we enjoyed walking through central Geneva, checked out stores, and visited one of the biggest Lindt chocolate shop in Switzerland. We called it a day and prepared for our trip to the breathtaking Lauterbrunnen Valley. From Geneva, we boarded the train going to Bern, passing one of the most scenic train rides that I ever experienced. From Bern, we changed trains to one going to Interlaken Ost train station. At Interlaken Ost, you'll get teased of what the Swiss Alps has in store for you. Just look at that view. To reach Lauterbrunnen Valley, we boarded a train going to Lauterbrunnen with its distinct yellow and blue color, and the travel time is around 20 to 30 minutes. Upon arrival at the Lauterbrunnen train station, you'll immediately get treated to some of the best scenery Switzerland has to offer. It's truly our heaven on earth. We settled in our AirBnB accommodation, which is located at the back of the train station, and it has one of the best views of Lauterbrunnen. Here's a big tip. It's well known that Switzerland is an expensive country, and one way to save is to get an accommodation that has a kitchen like Airbnb properties. We save a lot by just buying groceries at the nearest co-op, and my wife cooked the food for all of us. We did try out some of the local restaurants, but it's too expensive if you do this daily. We did some research and just found the perfect Airbnb accommodation for our 4-day stay here in Lauterbrunnen. Just look at the view of Staubbach Falls at night. Simply amazing. We started our day by heading out to the iconic natural landmark of Lauterbrunnen Valley, the Staubbach Falls. It's just a short walk from our location, and the walk around the town is scenic by itself as you get closer and closer to the falls. One of the highest free-falling waterfalls in Europe, Staubbach Falls is truly a sight to behold, and I would say this is truly the highlight of our trip. Ever since I saw this place on social media, I always dream of one day crossing it out of my bucket list. Well, I guess one more item crossed out of my bucket list then. If you ever plan to visit Switzerland in the future, make sure to add this to your itinerary. It's worth a trip. We spent about an hour enjoying the breathtaking scenery near the falls before going back to Lauterbrunnen train station to climb Mürren via the Bergbahn. The Bergbahn, or aerial cableway, is directly in front of the train station, and the ride itself is an experience that I highly recommend. The ride to Grutschalp climbs around 1,000 meters in about 10 minutes. A round-trip ticket costs around 15 Swiss francs. Upon arrival at Grutschalp's summit station, passengers change to the narrow gauge railway to reach the Winterregg restaurant and Mürren. Another tip: if you plan to explore a lot of places in Switzerland, including Swiss villages like Wengen, I would recommend getting a Swiss half-fare card for 120 Swiss francs. The Swiss half-fare card entitles passengers who are resident abroad to travel on trains, buses, boats, and most mountain lifts or railways like the Bergbahn at half the price. So instead of 15 Swiss francs, the round-trip ticket is just 7 Swiss francs. We strolled around the beautiful winter wonderland scenery before heading back and calling it a day.
we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done.
Our plan for this day was for me and my wife to do the Wengen to Lauterbrunnen hike, which is a 40 minutes downhill walk. We rode the yellow train going up Wengen, and the train ride is another scenic must-do ride. Upon arrival at Wengen, we took some time to enjoy the magnificent view before heading down the trail. It's well marked so you won't get lost. Trail is about 4 kilometers and you'll get treated to one of the best view overlooking the town of Lauterbrunnen and the valley. Definitely a must-do whenever you're in Lauterbrunnen. And you get some exercise along the way. We stopped a lot of times just enjoying the breathtaking view overlooking the valley. And of course, we took a lot of photos and videos along the way. We went back to our accommodation and regrouped with the family to visit another must-visit location here in Lauterbrunnen, the Trümmelbach Falls. The Trümmelbach Falls are the world's only glacier waterfalls that are accessible underground by lift, tunnels, and platforms, and a part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Trümmelbach Falls are only accessible from April to October, and truly a sight to behold. Here's some video with natural audio so you can hear its roaring waters. We then head up Grindelwald, which is another scenic Swiss village and easily reachable by a train ride. We strolled around town for about an hour until we head back due to the cold weather and called it a day. We started our day slowly and just admired and appreciated the beautiful day at Lauterbrunnen as we prepared for a short train ride down to Interlaken. Me and my wife decided that we will definitely go back to Lauterbrunnen for a longer stay in the future, as it's really our favorite place here in Switzerland. Another tip: download the SBB mobile app for all your transportation needs in Switzerland. You can check out available transportation for you on a particular destination or location. And you can purchase tickets directly through the app when you link your Google Pay or Apple Pay. After a short 30-minute trip to Interlaken West train station, our AirBnB accommodation in Interlaken is just a 5-minute walk from the station. Same like Geneva, Interlaken offers a free guest card that our accommodation provided for us, which will allow us to travel on buses and trains in and around Interlaken for free. You also get discounts to various activities and tourist spots around the Interlaken region, like a 15% discount on the Harder Kulm funicular or free entrance to the Casino Interlaken. Our first stop for the day is Harder Kulm, the top of Interlaken. We headed to the funicular station in Interlaken, which takes you to the top, and a round-trip ticket costs around 44 Swiss francs. But if you have the Interlaken guest card, or better, a Euro pass, you get a discount to the ticket. I would recommend to buy your tickets online as there is a long line to the local ticketing office during our visit, and it's not even the peak season, which is around summer. Upon arrival at the top of the station, the Kulm platform and restaurant is just a short walk. It was snowing, but the weather cleared out for a short while for us to enjoy the view of Interlaken and the turquoise blue waters of both Lake Brienz and Lake Thun, with the stunning Swiss Alps directly in front of your view. We then dine in the Kulm Panorama restaurant, and to our surprise, the prices are reasonable, while you get treated to a scenic view when dining. Of course, we ordered the classic Swiss cheese fondue. We then headed down Kulm, strolled the peaceful town of Interlaken before calling it a day. We started the day by doing a quick grocery at the nearby co-op in front of the Interlaken West Station before heading out at the BLS dock station as we were going to ride the BLS boat tour of Lake Thun. We got treated immediately with the crystal clear blue waters of the lake as the boat departed Interlaken West Station towards Lake Thun. The boat tour is about 79 Swiss francs for the standard rate, which covers both Lake Thun and Lake Brienz. Another tip, if you have a Eurail pass, you can board the BLS ships for free. Just show your Eurail pass as your ticket. You can also purchase a Globe Family Day ticket which covers 2 adults and at least 1 child for only 119 Swiss francs. You can use the train from Interlaken West to Interlaken Ost for free if you also want to board the Lake Brienz boat tour and vice versa. The BLS boat will stop at around 10 locations surrounding the lake, and the total boat tour is around 2 hours. There's a restaurant as well which you can dine while enjoying the view of the lake. The view of the surrounding mountains and the crystal clear lake waters is totally worth it. And the food on the boat is also great and not that expensive. Definitely a must-do whenever you're in Interlaken. Don't miss the chance to enjoy this activity. We disembarked at the Thun boat dock and headed back to Interlaken West via a 10 minutes train ride. It snowed during the later part of the day, so we just sit back and relax back at our accommodation. My wife's dream destination, as she is an avid K-drama fan. We started our big day by riding the bus towards Iseltwald to visit the Crash Landing on You shooting location. The quiet and small town of Iseltwald gives you the classic Swiss village feel, along with the scenic view of the gorgeous Lake Brienz and surrounding mountains. Simply a must-visit whenever you're in Switzerland. This wooden dock is where the famous piano scene was shot for Crash Landing on You. It gets crowded during the summer, but we're lucky enough as there aren't many tourists when we visited this day. Another way to visit Iseltwald is via the BLS boat as it stops here in Iseltwald. Here's some more shots of Iseltwald and the gorgeous Lake Brienz. We played with this fat cat before heading back to Interlaken. We strolled around Interlaken and spent the rest of our afternoon sightseeing and shopping for chocolates, and meeting with a couple of local Pinoys who are now living here in Switzerland. We started late for our last full day here in Interlaken, as we've been traveling non-stop for 8 days since Geneva. Majority of our day was spent resting and then doing some more shopping in the afternoon, as Interlaken is also a good place to shop, from designer watches, chocolates to souvenirs. As we explored and enjoyed our last moments here in Interlaken, we're going to miss the beautiful sceneries that became our daily view. Makes you think and admire how lucky people who live here in Switzerland are. We promised to ourselves that we will be back soon and explore more of Switzerland. We prepared for our next stop in our Europe trip, which is Paris, and said goodbye to this beautiful country of Switzerland. If you ever watch this video and stayed till the end, I do wish that you visit this magnificent country in the future, as it's truly our heaven on earth. Thanks, and please like and subscribe. You have a nice day.